They're the people that we turn to when life goes horribly wrong. The military, the first responders, the frontliners called on to protect us. But who do they turn to when they need saving themselves? One unique program is helping them deal with their own demons, and the therapy comes on 4 legs.
It's a bond that's hard to describe. A union, a relationship between horse and human.
We have serious history with horses, you know, we go back thousands of years.
And it's a connection that's helping heal the wounded.
Well, it does amazing things for people, there's no doubt about it, you know, well, it saves lives.
All humans enjoy a connection, some kind of emotional, physical connection, and horses can provide that.
Nestled in the rolling hills of the New South Wales Southern Highlands lies Heartland Horse Farm. Here, lives are being saved.
I've had a rough 2 years, so there's been self-harm, there's been hospitalisations, there's been a lot. Sorry if I get a bit teary.
You're right. Horse Aid is the brainchild of former New South Wales Mounted Police Officer Scott Brodie.
There are lots of alternate therapies, but this one seems to work for a lot of people. What we want to do here is we want to get to the point where the horse understands that the best place and safest place to be is with you.
It's technically known as equine therapy.
I would like to think that what we do is therapeutic to people, but we don't call it therapy. What we do is horsemanship, and people learn incidentally from that horsemanship that we do. And I want you to form a triangle.
Scott runs 5-day courses for military veterans and first responders living with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay, go now. Create the energy, send him back, send him back.
Working with former thoroughbred racehorses, the damaged souls, both equine and human,
You can feel what I'm saying, right? So there's a balance point there.
regain confidence, trust and belief in themselves.
They've lost their confidence in their ability to horse, and we've lost our confidence in our ability to be able to be human.
We need to think about outside the square a little bit in relation to what people need in their journey back from PTSD.
Sarah Bancroft is a former New South Wales police officer. She was medically discharged in July.
Something little just made me snap, and yeah, it was time to go.
But leaving the force left her without direction.
It's really hard to describe how hard it is to find a purpose once you leave a 17-year career. It changes you, it changes the way you see things.
The mother of 2 had always been scared of horses, not anymore.
Good, and back to the middle. Good girl, well done. Well
These
done.
horses have PTSD too. They're from backgrounds where they've got trauma. You know, they need the right balance of empathy and leadership, and that's something I've lost both of those in the last 2 years.
I have always wanted to serve, that's all I ever wanted to do.
Isaac Adams served in the Australian Defence Forces in counter-terrorism. He did 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan.
I did come back a little bit disillusioned with the world and a little bit frustrated and angry about certain things. And that adjustment was pretty tough because I loved it. I loved everything about the Army, and I love what it represents, and I still feel very strongly about it.
Struggling to settle back into civilian life, Isaac ended up being arrested for drug possession.
I realised how bad I'd gotten, and that's what helped me to challenge me to change and become a different person.
He signed up for the Horse Aid program.
And I found that through working with the horses and challenging my own perceptions and beliefs about different things have helped me with that integration and move on with my life. The Defence Force and first responders, they have a mentoring process and a selection process that gets people into those jobs, but we don't have one that gets people out of those jobs and to be back to being a person that they were perhaps before.
So convinced by the healing power of horses, he bought his own, Coda.
They can tell if you've got a hidden agenda, they can tell if you're not being truthful, they can tell if you're hiding something, they see straight through that.
So try pivoting on one foot for me.
The Army veteran is now an instructor on the donation-funded Horse Aid program.
So I learned a lot about myself, and now I get to teach those lessons and share those experiences with other veterans and first responders.
Melissa Lynch was in the Army for 8 years.
and I was medically discharged in 2021 for mental health issues.
Her trauma came in 2018.
I was sexually assaulted and didn't deal with it until 2020.
That sent her spiralling. Having grown up with horses, she turned to horse aid.
They have a sixth sense that helps you understand what you're feeling as well.
If you think he's going to drop back to canter, then he's...
The future, she says, now looks brighter.
I've been the most well I've been in the past month.
Really?
Over the past couple of days, yeah.
This is all about working with broken people who, after just 5 days, leave here well and truly on the path to being whole again. Father of 3, Steve Hauer, is a 20-year veteran police officer working in child protection.
I don't have any food, I'm sorry. Investigating child exploitation, both domestically and internationally. So there was a lot of looking at some very unpleasant material.
It took him to some dark places in his mind.
With PTSD along comes anxiety, and for me the anxiety comes out in anger. I just go from 0 to 100, and it was my kids and my family, or my wife, that suffered the most.
Steve did the program a while back. He still finds solace here in the Heartland stables.
The baggage will never go away, but just learning to be able to manage it, and spending time with the horses helps.
Horse hugs, he says, make all the difference.
They'll just come and put their head on your shoulder. They know something's going wrong, and they'll go and put their head on your shoulder and lean in.
By giving them these sorts of experiences and showing them that there's other things that they can do, it definitely has a lasting effect on people's overall well-being.
So I've been searching for who I am.
Sarah Bancroft believes she's found herself at Heartland.
I'm looking for peace. I'm looking for calm.
Very good. Well done.
Good boy.
Yeah, such a good boy. And good job, everyone at Heartland Horse Farm. What an amazing organisation.